Topic number 3, duties of the arresting officer. So number 1, in implementing the warrant of arrest, the arresting officer shall use at least one BWC or body-worn camera and one ARD or alternative recording devices such as cell phones or action cameras or a minimum of 2 devices. So muna siya minimum, 1 BWC and 1 ARD. BWC, body-worn camera, ARD, alternative recording devices. Okay? And muna siya minimum, but pwede pa mo-over pa ana as long as necessary. Pwede tulo, pwede upat. Hindi nimo as long as necessary. And in case of unavailability, anang walay body-worn camera sa inyong opisina. Okay? So the arresting officer shall file an ex-parte motion before the court to request authority to use at least 2 ARDs na pod for justifiable reasons such as wala gud sila body-worn camera pa nga naabot sa ilang opisina. Okay? So mo-file sila, the arresting officers should file an ex-parte motion to request authority to use at least 2 alternative recording devices or 2 cell phones or 2 action cameras. Okay? As long as there's justifiable reason. So this is an example of a body-worn camera. Okay? And this is the ex-parte motion for leave, okay, or to request the use of 2 alternative recording devices. So on blank, this honorable court issued a warrant of arrest directing the police officers to arrest Juan de la Cruz for the crime of murder. And further, in the order, requiring the use of at least body-worn camera and 1 alternative recording devices, or a minimum of 2 devices as necessary to capture and record the relevant incidents during the execution of the warrant. So, di ba I mentioned, once mo issue na og warrant, si judge, below sa katong warrant of arrest gani, di ba, gi-require ang police officers to use at least one body-worn camera and 1 alternative recording devices, di ba? So gi-require na sila. So sa warrant of arrest gani, pinakailalom third paragraph I think, gi-require ang police officers that in the execution of the warrant of arrest dapat mo gamit mo og body-worn camera and alternative recording devices. Okay? So if wala jud pagdawat pag forward ato sa warrant section sa police station, wala mo kuan inyong station, wala gyud body-worn camera. Of course, mo file mo og ex-parte motion for leave. Mo ni siya format. Okay? So number 2, for reasons of unavailability, body-worn cameras to this date. Okay? Our officers, through the undersigned, respectfully move to this honorable court to allow our police officers to implement the warrant to use at least 2 alternative. Muhangyo ang arresting officers nga mogamit ra 2 alternative recording devices kay wala tay dili pa available ang body-worn cameras sa station. Kay atong 2017, if mga less than 3,000 naman ang i-purchase and until now wala pa na ginungagan. At least less than 3,000 ka body-worn cameras lang ang i-purchase sa ating government. Wala pa na naadan. Okay? So hopefully in the coming years madungagan na para wala na ning ex-parte motion for leave. Okay? So prayer once approved, okay? Pwede ang police officers mo gamit og 2 alternative recording devices. Okay? So, what is the effect of failure to observe the body-worn camera during arrest? Wala gigamit. Will it render the arrest unlawful and evidence inadmissible in evidence? The answer is no. It shall not render the arrest unlawful or the evidence inadmissible. However, the officers who fail to use body-worn camera without justifiable reasons, okay, or ilang manipulate ang recording, nas lagi pangkat, etc., they will be liable for contempt of court. Okay? I-contempt of court na sila. But what's the effect of the failure to observe body-worn camera on the implementation of a search warrant? Okay? It will render the obtained evidence inadmissible. Muna siya. Effect of failure to observe body-worn camera during the implementation of the search warrant. It shall render the obtained evidence inadmissible in court. But with regards to arrest, the arrest is still lawful and the evidence obtained is still admissible. However, i-contempt, liable for contempt ang mga police officers na wala nag-use of body-worn camera without justifiable reasons. But kaning sa search warrant, it will render the obtained evidence inadmissible and also liable Japan for contempt ang mga police officers. Okay, see the difference? Number 2, body-worn camera or alternative recording device shall be used and activated upon arrival at the place of arrest to capture and record the relevant incidents during the execution of the warrant. So, but what if i-question ninyo? Kano sa man ninyo i-activate ang body-worn camera and alternative recording devices? So, it shall be activated upon arrival at the place of arrest. If imong arestuhon na sa bantayan, na daras bantayan dapit, of course, pag arrive ninyo sa place of arrest, dito ninyo i-activate ang body-worn camera and alternative recording devices. Okay? In order to what? To capture and record the relevant incidents during the execution of warrant. Okay? So, the body-worn camera or ARD shall be worn in a conspicuous location such as the pit para klaro yun and in a manner that maximizes the ability to capture recording of the arrest. Para klaro yun doon. Kita ang ngabong sa tao, tiil. Okay? So, for transparency ba, it shall only be deactivated. So, when is this BWC or ARD deactivated? So, upon the conclusion of the arrest, paghuman sa arrest, and the delivery of the person arrested to the nearest police station. And the same shall be observed in cases of warrantless arrest. Okay? So, mugamit Japon ka o BWCs or ARDs during warrantless arrest as long as available. So, as of now, wala mong available. So, it's not really mandatory during warrantless arrest. Okay? Ang importante rin yun ang BWC or ARD sa implementation of a warrant of arrest and search warrant. Okay? So soon, if ubay-ubay na ang i-purchase sa government, maybe during warrantless arrest, mandatory na yun na ay BWC or ARDs. Okay? What's the effect of failure to observe the body-worn camera during execution of a warrant of arrest? So it shall not render the arrest unlawful or evidence inadmissible. However, officers who fail to use body-worn camera without justifiable reasons or manipulate the recording shall be liable for contempt of court, either a fine or imprisonment. Okay? Okay, same lang ni. I already explained this. In fact, the failure to observe body-worn camera during execution of a search warrant, it shall render the obtained evidence inadmissible. Okay? By virtue of the exclusionary rule and the fruit of poisonous tree, police officers who fail to use body-worn camera without justifiable reason or manipulate the recording shall be liable for contempt. Third, it shall be the duty of the police officer implementing the warrant of arrest to deliver the arrested person without delay to the nearest police station or jail. So, if dapat sa Dumaguete, city ang suspect, turn over sa Dumaguete City Police Station. Again, nearest police station. Pinakadulo. At the time of arrest, it shall be the duty of the arresting officer to inform the person arrested of the cause of his arrest. So, of course, during arrest, magpailasa ka, and then cause of the arrest or the purpose of the arrest. Okay? And yes, the arresting officer need not have the warrant in his or her possession at the time of the arrest. But after the arrest, if the person arrested so requires, the warrant shall be shown to him or her as possible. Okay, so during the execution of the warrant, makaila ka, you are a police officer and you have the authority to arrest because you're a member of the Philippine National Police. Okay, after that, inform him nga naka-record pag-arrest nimo ha, I'm using a body-worn camera, and also i-inform him I am arresting you by virtue of a warrant of arrest issued by branch by Judge Blank of Branch 31. Okay, so yung kaila. Then, imo siyang arestuhan. Then, of course, don't forget to apprise him of his constitutional rights to remain silent and to have a competent independent counsel, preferably of his own choice. Ano yung important things to consider during arrest? When a woman is arrested, of course, the policewoman shall conduct the complete body search. Why? Okay, if lucky, what if violent siya sa body of harassment, acts of lasciviousness, yan. So to be safe, dapat policewoman conduct o complete body search. Okay. Yes, CICL. When a CICL is arrested, i-process na siya sa WCPD, Women's and Children's Protection Desk. And then, i-separate din na siya from the adult suspects. Let's just say, talagang drugs cases, dapat silang tulo na yung isa ka minor, okay, below 18. So, considered as CICL, so i-separate din na siya from the adult suspect. And then, i-turn over na ang bata sa DSWD or other accredited NGOs within 8 hours. Again, within 8 hours upon apprehension sa pagdakop. Within 8 hours sa pagdakop. Okay, DSWD. Foreigners na po ni. So, if a foreign national is arrested, the arresting officers, through his or her COP or unit commander, shall perform the following. Which is importante pag foreign national yung nitakpan. Simultaneously inform the Foreign Liaison Division, Directorate for Intelligence, PNP Command Center, and immediate head office through SMS. Yung contact sila simultaneously within 1 hour of an arrest. Diba? Terorista rin ng foreign national. Okay? So, second, you submit a written report of the incident within 8 hours to the immediate higher office. One of the things to consider if a foreign national imong gidakop. Number 8, in case of arrest without a warrant, it shall be the duty of the arresting officer to inform the person to be arrested of his or her identity. Again, balik-balik, paila jud ka. Except, of course, na exception. That's the general rule. In every general rule, na dyan na siya exception. So when he or she flees or forcibly resists before the arresting officer has the opportunity to inform him, and when the giving such information will imperil the arrest. If kasulti ba hanap talaga na siya chance na may escapo, di ba? So, dapat every general nag exemptions. So if ever mo fall sa exemptions, no need na to inform your authority. Or magpaila ka, no need. Number 9, the person arrested with or without warrant shall be informed of his or her constitutional right to remain silent, and that any statements he makes could be used against him or her. Miranda rights ba? Okay. And also that he or she has the right to communicate with his lawyer, family, and the right to physical examination. It shall be the duty of the arresting officer to subject arrested person with or without warrant to a medical examination prior to temporary detention. Okay? For safety reasons, rapod ba? Before detention, okay si accused, okay si suspect, walay bunol, etc. Okay? So dapat required yun na a medical exam. Tanang person na i-arrest. Number 10, a person arrested without a warrant shall immediately brought to the police station for investigation without unnecessary delay. Again, it is police station. And subject to inquest proceedings for valid warrantless arrest within the time prescribed in Article 125 of the Revised Penal Code. Katong 12-1836 ganit na rule. Okay? Should know that. So, Article 125. So, for crimes punishable by life penalties, you deliver detained persons to the proper judicial authorities within 12 hours. For correctional penalties, 18 hours. For afflictive penalties, 36 hours. Okay? And you should take note that it is not the physical delivery of the arrested person that is required under Article 125. but the filing of an information against the arrested person in the proper court where the judge has authority to issue an order of release or of confinement. So that is why valid warrantless arrest, i-inquest na yun ng suspect para si prosecutor issue siya inquest resolution o information para ma-file sa court. Otherwise, you have to release such person. Okay, if mo over na 12 hours, if mo over na 18 hours, if mo over na 36 hours, depending if flight penalty, fractional penalty, or capital or afflictive penalties. Why? Because you will violate Article 125. Okay? 11. Okay, of course, human rights. No torture, force, violence, threat, intimidation, or any other means which vitiate the free will shall be used against the arrested person. The bringing of arrested persons to secret detention places, solitary confinement, and the like is prohibited. Number 12, the arresting officer shall ensure that the arrested person is free from torture and abuse. Again, as if please observe human rights. Again, nakinak ng tao, presume innocent na siya. Presumption of innocence, diba? Only a judge can determine whether a person is guilty or not guilty. Again, it is not you, it's not us, but only the judge can determine whether a person is guilty or not guilty. So, of course, minsan pag criminal na siya, ito human rights, ay pag-torture po. Diba? So 13, if the person arrested without a warrant waives his or her right under Article 125, katulig in 12-1836. Okay, if iya tong i-waive, okay, there's a saying OPSHAG preliminary investigation, kay dugay man na, i-waive siya. So the arresting officer shall ensure that the former signs a waiver of detention. Dapat, na siya pirma niya, waiver of detention. Formality lang ba? In writing, it should be in writing if waive siya sa Article 125. And again, in the presence of counsel, dapat ay lawyer. Okay. And number 14, if the person arrested waives his or her right against self-incrimination and chooses to give his or her statement, angko na lang siya ba? So the arresting officer shall ensure that the waiver is made in writing and signed by the person arrested in the presence of counsel of his or her own choice or competent of or an independent counsel provided by the government in case wala siya yung lawyer. Okay? So need yun na, if ever confess is dapat it should be made in writing and in the presence of counsel. Again, it should be made in writing and in the presence of counsel. Otherwise, inadmissible to yung mandasyon if wala yung lawyer and it was not moving on. Okay?